right. I think it's definitely that time now. I think that enough time has also passed that we can actually talk about this and say that, yes, I think that when it comes to this event and this entire thing and the entire anniversary itself, they really did not pull out any stops. They made sure this anniversary was something to kind of talk about and made sure that it was hyped enough that players would really look at the game and be like, yeah, they really cooked here, right? At the end of the day, I do think that everything that, they wanted to kind of release in the way of freebies and everything, they made sure to keep on doing it in such a small amount or not a small amount, but in a way they release some more, and they just kept it going throughout the entire first 2 weeks of the Annie, because you realize that we still were getting gifts in our mail during the entire thing, and they kept releasing CD keys beyond that also. They had like a collab with VTubers, by the way, where they were releasing CD keys. I did not make a single video on them because I know that whenever it's like a CD key like that, it would expire within the first like few hours, which most of them did, so hence why I never made a video on them. But that was there. They were absolutely cooking with everything. Every single thing that they did in this anniversary, I think that they really won the players over yet again. You have to realize, right? Like when I last made a video like this, it was during the time of the collaboration where I told everybody, like, you have to realize what they did during this collaboration was nuts. They took what we really originally thought, right? We originally thought that what they would do is something like Chain Cement. And remember, Chain Cement was very mid. It was very mid, yeah? It wasn't a real special thing. It was as if it was just a regular banner, a regular day in Nikke. That's what it was, correct? And then Nier released, and then they gave you so many extra multis. They gave you so many extra things. They released you 2 free skins. They made those characters pretty actually good. And at the end of the day, that was a very, very good update. It was like one of the best updates. Now, you run into this update, you're like, what are we expecting? And they took those expectations and blew them away. You got your story, a very well-made story yet again. I think the story was very, very well done. I don't know if it's going to, like, compete with Overzone. That's a rough one. We're going to have to discuss that one, all right? But I do like Overzone, and Overzone hits different for me till this day. But again, this was a very, very well done story also. All the improvements, all the gifts, everything. This was a first anniversary, which was just wild. Everything about it was just wild. Free Pilgrim, all that stuff that they gave. You have to remember, they were telling us like 137 free summons. That was complete cap. They lied completely because it ended up being 150 to 160. Because when the game launched, they officially gave you 2 extra multis, which they never promised to you. They also gave an additional regular recruit multi, which again, they did not promise you. These were not promised at all. They were never said that they were going to give it, and we got it at the end of the day, right? So you have to realize that also. And then also with like the entire event itself, no one expected to receive a mini game of this stature. This mini game is by far the greatest thing they ever invented. The challenges, though, oh my god, challenge difficulty is insane, but this really is one of the best things that they've ever released in the game. It was so much fun. This was so much freaking fun. And you'd realize, like, just trying to design a mode like this, it's kind of crazy, and like the way that they mastered it, being not the actual devs for this type of stuff, and they mastered it completely. It was a very well made mode, and it just was so much fun. Again, story we already talked about, challenge mode, they made the improvements they promised they would make, a lot of the fixes, a lot of the stuff they listened about. Remember, they don't have to buff Red Hood. They didn't have to, correct? If they wanted to, they would have left Red Hood as she was and released you a Pilgrim down the line that's much better, correct? They buffed Red Hood, made her the best unit in the game as players wanted, because they knew, like, all right, players want this. Okay, could be a publicity stunt. I get it. I understand that too. Who knows? We'll act like it wasn't. They did that. They buffed Dorothy at the end, right? Players were asking to fix Dorothy. They fixed Dorothy also. Realized that, again, that was nothing they had to do, but they did it, which was a very cool freaking thing. Again, all of the free summons, everything that they absolutely cooked up with this update. But yeah, I also wanted to show these things to you, right? That I also found up on Reddit that I wanted to kind of get off my chest here. First, I told you originally that this Easter egg was like kind of a thing where they took the design for something. It was a very similar design. I'm like, there's no way that this is almost identical, and it was that they did. They literally said so. First, a cartoon I saw when I was little. I think it might have something to do with drills, correct? Red Hood says that. Now, if you watch the anime, you know what it's talking about. It's talking about Yoko Littner. Are you kidding me? That is so well done. And literally, we knew it. We knew that that was going to be it. And when I originally said in my video, people were like, nah, it can't be. There were some that agreed, but there was a lot that said no way they took any inspiration from that. It's much different. But here you go. Now, hey, I was going to go and expose them real quick. Imagine just go to the comments. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they did have this character here. It looks very, very similar. The sniper, the red hair, all this stuff over here. So very well done. If this is hinting towards a collab, hey, maybe I wail again, boys. I don't know. Imagine. But yeah, there's other collabs. I'm hoping that we get something cool. We don't know anything about collabs right now, so who cares? Beyond that, also, we had this like cool thing where she said like you're gonna have an insanely nice, cool one-liner, and she gets that same one-liner that she says, "If you believe in the creator, you better start praying." And then over here, if you believe in the creator, you better start praying. Really cool stuff like that. You know, sort of nice little Easter eggs. And there was also this. It wouldn't be one of my videos if it's not like somehow taking a nod at Genshin. I don't know why, but it just might come. It's love to do that. But here you go. Nikke, Genshin fans, check our anniversary. And then it shows all this stuff over here, which, by the way, update this number to 157. And we got it. It's around 157, right? And then over here, that's not counting our half anniversary celebration. And then Genshin fans, I feel so bad for Genshin, dude. Really, I hope they get like a good anniversary one time, so they could say that we've done it at a point. But I don't know, I haven't played Genshin since the first Annie, right? It's been a while, like a while. Or rather, like I haven't seen the second Annie. Did they actually give the same stuff? Because people said that it was the first Annie, just copy pasted to the second Annie. So did they not up it, or am I just high? I don't know, bro. I don't remember exactly, but I was not playing at the time for it, so kind of that's the case. We also had this, remember, like people were partying. Like when they buffed Red Hood, you had to see like the entire sentiment. 2.3k upvotes, and people were talking about it like crazy. Like Big W, cannot believe they did it. It's just, there's so many things that they did in this update that like nobody would expect, and they really did wonders. Like if the community is so happy, you have to see it. The community is actually ecstatic about everything that they did. And then also they released so many cool designs for the future, which it hypes you up too. It's like, oh, you know, you did this for Red Hood. Now in the future, we have so much stuff to look forward to, and you released so many new designs and for Nikke's that people would love. And at the end of the day, I really wonder. Wow. You know what it is? I read this as, to be honest, I wouldn't pull. And then the later word fixed the whole sentence for me. Okay. You know, hey. Well then. Well, you got me off topic here. What was I saying? What was it? Okay, yeah, a great unit. People would pull for this in the future. Well then, what an upvoted comment too. Look at that, dude. 600 upvotes. Man's was cooking. If I was logged in, he gets an upvote for me. Moving forward, was I the only one that did this? Like literally, I did this right away just to see it, and I took the screenshot. Like, hey, we got it together, and someone else did it too. It's just kind of funny that I wasn't the only one. I was the only one that did this, and I took the screenshot. Like, oh yeah, man. Only thing is, you know, my Red Hood's got no dupes, but you know, what can I say? Okay, what can I say? But yeah, should have used the small Snow White instead of the main Snow White. Yeah, but again, pretty cool thing here. A lot of cool stuff. People have been just having fun going through the update. If we're teasing a collab with this IP, you got me sold. But for everything, I think that they absolutely cooked. And I want to say great job to the devs, and please keep this up. When the next collab rolls around, I hope that it's like even better than Nier. When the next anniversary rolls up, I wonder how they're gonna do it. I really think that if they just were to mimic this every time, it's still special enough to us where it's gonna be the same amount of hype. And I think that again, for the future of this game, they really show that when it comes to an anniversary, a celebration, and whatnot, we will do it justice. And when it comes to limited, they did Summer Limited justice. They gave you a lot of stuff. They held a very wonderful event. And I think that I wonder how they're going to keep one-upping themselves. But I think that, if anything, out of every dev studio that I've played their games from, I think that Nikke and Shift can do it. But yeah, again, still, you know, there are some core things. I've been seeing those comments. I want to make that clear. That yes, there's still like no core content that's been added as people want. And that's still a complaint, 100%. I am hoping that they tackle that in the future. They didn't kind of release any new content this entire Annie. They did a lot of stuff for the Annie. They did, right? Yes, I see the aspect of new content was never mentioned or anything like that. So that is something for the future, right? They did say Simulation Room 2.0. They did say a few things, right? But yeah, the core content is also a complaint for a lot of players. But I think that in the future they could tackle that too. If they tackle everything, they could. If they tackle all of this, right? Couldn't they? But we'll see in the future if that is a plan. But for right now, hey. Great anniversary, and I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a wonderful time. Yes, thank you all.